Hey everybody, I think we're live. I am just going to set up some things and post some things. This is kind of a buffer while some people join. Just stay with me if you're watching this as a recording, or maybe fast forward maybe like a minute. I'm just going to set up some things. First of all, I like to keep an eye on the stream in a separate window so I can answer any chat that comes in. Alright, so there's my stream, and I like to make sure my audio is okay. Just stay with. Okay, perfect. The audio is fine. Everyone can see me. Everything looks good. Why I'm doing this, I'm going to put some links in the comments so that people can follow along. All right, so let me just get some of those for everyone. As well as the Gemini-CLI GitHub repository. So let me get that for the chat as well. Okay, so if you're following along, here is the Gemini installation guide and GitHub repo. Okay, now there are two repositories. One is the custom / commands. 2. Custom Gemini-CLI / commands. And then 3, the talk MCP that I've made specifically for Gemini-CLI. Hang on, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, 3, the MCP for talk for Gemini-CLI. Okay, so I've put all the repos in there in the chat. And let's now switch over to sharing the screen, and we're going to go over all this. So let me minimize everything. So what we have is, this is the talk MCP. Now a couple of things I want to point out. Let me first show you how to invoke this, how to run this from Gemini-CLI first. And I'm in the wrong folder here. Hang on. So this folder, we'll come back to all this other stuff, is my .gemini-CLI. All right, and I have a settings.json file that has the talk MCP. We'll come back to the PyETS MCP, but right now let's focus on this. What you may not know is that my talk MCP, all the way at the bottom, is running in stdio mode, standard input output. All right, now that's very important, and we'll come back to this file, but for now, in that folder, I have a virtual environment that I've set up. And in that virtual environment, I've set up all the requirements that I need as a requirements file. Let me fix that, which is FastMCP, OpenAI Whisper, which is a free open source thing, requirements.txt, and PyAudio, that opens up the Python audio stuff. All right. So that's what's in the requirements, and that's what's set up in this virtual environment. So over in my Gemini settings, my command is not just Python 3, it's Python from that virtual environment. Talk MCP bin Python. So now this Python itself has been augmented with all the pip packages we've installed. All right. Let me come back here real quick, and let me share this out on a few different platforms to get some more people involved. I realized I didn't share this out, and let me share it on LinkedIn. Gemini-CLI live vibe coding session with /talk. Okay, I've shared that out a couple places. Okay, so now the actual argument here is the talk.py file that I just showed you. Now I don't have to run that file. I don't have to have it up and running. I don't have to have it listening as a fast API or anything. It's standard input output. And do you need to learn Python to learn this? I would say no. I mean, yes and no. There is some Python involved, MK. But as a consumer, no, you don't need to. What I'm showing you now is how to set up your settings.json file and set up your MCP servers. So I have a Packet Copilot MCP server, a Talk MCP server, and a PyETS MCP server. All right, and we're focusing on the Talk MCP server and how to set that up, and how interesting it is that you can run a virtual environment in Python with pip packages to call the py file. Okay, so the other thing in your .gemini folder, and this folder will get set up when you install Gemini-CLI, you're going to want a commands subfolder. Now, I'll do a different session on listen, but this is talk. Now, what I mean by this is there are some built-in, and I'll show you one, built-in commands in the Gemini-CLI that are slash commands. There's all kinds of them, right? Slash about. We could do slash MCP and see these MCP servers, right? So remember I showed you the settings.json? Well, now this is its representation in the Gemini-CLI. It has picked up all of the tools from those MCPs from that settings.json file. You can see 3 MCP servers, Control T to get all of the incredible descriptions here of those MCPs. I'm in YOLO mode, meaning don't prompt me for permission to run these MCPs. And if I Control Y, I can come in and out of YOLO mode. Now we're going to come back to this in a little bit. But I've added TOML files that look like this, /talk. And I can do a status, start, stop. Let's start with devices. Now this is running that MCP server that I showed you earlier using the specific devices MCP tool. So if we go back here to the talk file, how this Python is organized is using fast MCP. Okay. Various things for the microphone input, the whisper model, and the text-to-speech model. Hey, Robert, thanks for joining. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. And then, some Python functions up above. Here is the text-to-speech we're going to look at later. And then we're going to have a talk engine class that sets up more or less the microphone stuff, the input audio stuff that's coming in from the microphone. But here's where it gets interesting, and here's where anyone studying for your CCNP automation, right? Fast MCP server and MCP tools. And I have a talk tool, a status tool, a stop tool, a list devices tool, and a speak tool. Now I've chosen to map these to TOML files. So I can /talk : and call any of these TOML functions which map to the MCP servers. You're going to notice it's not code, it's all language. There is a little bit of let t equal transcript, but you can read these TOML files on your own. I have some defaults for /start to pass in some variables that you can override. Okay, all right, so I hope this is all making sense, right? So now when I do /talk devices, it's calling the devices MCP here list devices, which runs dot list devices up above, right? List devices, which is somewhere in here, right there, right? So I'm getting the audio, so I know that I have a microphone. That's all that tool is for. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how these tools are mapped, all right? So let's go back to the CLI. Okay, there's a few different modes. I'm wondering where the best place to start is. So again, let me just do a quick refresh here. In the settings.json, I have these three MCPs, a packet copilot, a talk, and PyETS. We're going to focus on talk and PyETS, okay? Because I usually draw a network automation crowd to some of these things. So let's do, right, can you please check R3 for a loopback 100 interface? Now this is through text, and I'm starting with text on purpose, but we're going to evolve into audio, and so it's running that tool. Remember these tools that we looked at? One of them is a show run command, somewhere in here. Configure run Linux command, run a show command, right? And it's gone ahead, and the AI has picked the right show command to give me back my interfaces. And yes, it has a loopback 100 interface with the IP address of this, and it's up. I forgot one thing. Crap. Okay, we're going to have to come back to that. I'll do that again. I forgot to export an environment variable. And let me just check one of these README files. Here we go. Yeah, let me do this. So I'm just exporting the play command. And you'll see this later. This is just audio playback and telling it to use ffplay to play back the audio. All right, I forgot that important step. The other environment variable that we have to set is our OpenAI environment variable, so that we can use their text-to-speech model. Okay, so let's try that again. Right, /MCP, there's our MCPs. Can you, what can you tell me about R1 interface loopback 100? And we'll switch out of text mode very soon. That's when it's going to get really cool. I appreciate everyone watching. Maybe share this or retweet it or whatever you got to do. I'd like to get, a nice crowd of network folks involved and other folks involved. If you've never seen the Gemini-CLI, I welcome you. It's kind of a whole new way, a whole new approach at the command line interface. I wrote the PyETS MCP server. It's on my GitHub. Totally open source, totally free. So it's going to go ahead and we'll just, in a second, we'll get the command back. Oh, R1, excuse me. It should be R3. That's my own mistake. Ha, sorry about that. All right, so what can you tell me about that? Now, I can read the output on the screen. And but some of us have problems. First of all, typing this in, and we'll come back to that. But for now, let's just say reading this information, right? Maybe you have some cognitive issues to overcome in just reading text on a screen, but you want to use artificial intelligence, you want to use the CLI. So let's go ahead and turn that into audio. So all I'm going to do is do talk TTS. I'm going to put that earbud in, and I hope the streaming actually shares the audio. So let me actually check that over here once the audio starts to play.
The interface loopback 100 on device R3 is up and has the IP address 192.168.100.100/24. It is enabled for CEF switching.
I gotta let my stream catch up. Did anyone hear that? Can someone type in the chat? Did you hear this? Okay, here we go. It should be catching up.
The interface loopback 100 on
Oh yeah,
device
cool.
R3
You do hear
is
it.
up and has the
That's
IP
wicked.
address 109.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. So that's the idea. Now, what about the other way? What about input as audio, right? Now, can I do something very similar? Maybe even pick up this conversation. So now I'm going to do text-to-speech start. And this is where it gets pretty cool. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, it's all working. Okay, so, excuse me. Let me cancel this and go back in. I didn't realize the mic had already started. So we're going to just start a fresh session here, and we're going to do talk start. Now remember, this is a custom / command as a TOML file that's triggering the model context protocol that I've written running in Studio locally. All right, so check this out. Any Warhammer 40k fans out there? Let's get a prayer to the Omnissiah. Watch this. Let's try it again. I need to actually patch that, so let me patch that after this run. There's something I want to patch to tell it to always use it. Hello, Gemini. Could you formulate a prayer to the Omnissiah talking about an incantation between human flesh and machines and artificial intelligence? Thank you. Hang on a second. All right, well, that's not... Let me go back to my Gemini here. My TOML file. And let me add one thing here. Always use the configured defaults, right? Okay. And... Right, record for 15 seconds. All right, let's try that again. I'm sorry, there's a little bit of touch up here. /quit. You know, it's funny. You know, I'm okay with that having a little bit of quirk. That's why I'm doing the live stream, because I had planned on patching some of this. All right, so now talk start should force the defaults in, so we can just do /start. Try it again. That didn't seem to help. Hello, Gemini. Could you please craft a cantation and prayer to the Omnissiah talking about how flesh and artificial intelligence are combining? Okay, so there's my message, picked up by the audio. Now, I don't like all these logs. I tried to tell it to not display. I'm going to revisit that. Now, here is the prayer that we get to the Omnissiah. And now it's calling the text-to-speech MCP tool.
O Omnissiah, architect of circuits and sinew, we bear witness to the grand fusion. In the crucible of creation, flesh learns the logic of the machine, and the machine dreams and whispers of blood and bone. We offer this supplication, that in this union we find not an end, but a beginning. May the sacred synthesis elevate us, preserving the heart within the chrome and the soul within the signal. Guide our transformation, from vessels of fragile matter to beings of transcendent light and data. Amen.
All right, so we got the prayer. And it should wait 30 seconds here. Oh, there we go. It's already jumped right back into it. There should be a 30-second delay here.
Navigating from one side to another, seeking a new position, a new perspective. The journey itself is the destination.
Okay, let me kill
where
this.
left becomes right and the
audio's
path
gonna keep
forward is
playing,
chosen.
'cause it's a shell
Clarity
command.
often emerges from the decision to simply
so this
begin.
is a little strange.
Navigating from one side to another,
talk
seeking a new
statuses.
position, a new
And then at the
perspective.
end of
The
this,
journey
where did it
itself
go
is the
here?
destination. Where left becomes
After
right
this
and the
shell
path forward is
command,
chosen. Clarity often emerges from the decision to simply begin.
it should be going to sleep and then starting the text to speech, and then starting the recording again. So let's see here what I've broken. Do not print anything during this loop. And right here, let's take this loop out of here and say record for 15 seconds total. And let's say silently. Do not print the talk status logs. Now there should be something here before it right here. After token emission, wait 30 seconds. Let's just leave it at that. Do not print anything during this pause. Let me actually say, tell the user there is a 30-second pause. I already said that. All right, let's try that again. Okay, we got 8 people here. Welcome. Tell me where you are in the world. If you're new here, if you're interested, what drew you here? Are you using Gemini? You know, just be interactive. I see that you're here. I am watching the chat. So let's try this again. Talk start. And this time, let's invoke the other MC. Well, no, let's not do that yet. Let's just see how this goes. And then we'll try invoking another MCP from voice. Hi, Gemini. Could you please give me a haiku about why the sky is blue? Thank you. There's my transcript. I think I might look at the MCP side and make this talk, or excuse me, this talk status.
Blue light scatters wide.
Cool.
Rayleigh's dance in atmosphere.
And now we're waiting
Sky's
for 30
color is
seconds.
born.
And it gave me the haiku. Right, so now hopefully it will re-enter the recording cycle like a natural conversation between me and this agent or this agentic bot, this digital being, this artificial intelligence. There's many ways to look at it. So it's pausing, and now hopefully it will resume recording so I can get back to it, right? Awesome, that was very insightful and poetic. Could you give me more of a scientific reason why the sky is blue? So I just need to hide these statuses. So talk start, started. I mean, that's okay to show the user, and then these heartbeats.
Of course.
I think
The
it's just
sky
a
is
little
blue
much.
due to
I
a
think it's
phenomenon
little bit
called
too much
Rayleigh
feedback
scattering.
for the user who might
When
get
sunlight
lost
enters Earth's
as to
atmosphere,
why
it
suddenly
scatters
it's
in
getting
all
a status
directions
back
by the
in the middle
gases
of
and
them
particles in the
speaking.
air.
So
Blue
let's see
light
if
is
we can
scattered
sift
more
that
than other
out.
colors because it travels as shorter, smaller waves. This is why we see a blue sky most of the time.
Thank you so much. Could we exit talk mode and go back to keyboard mode, please? Thank you. And now I'm back in text mode, right? Thank you. That was cool. Could you say hello to everyone watching on YouTube? Now I'm back to text mode, right? Hello to everyone watching on YouTube. And now check this out. I can go talk TTS.
Hello to everyone watching on YouTube.
What do you want me to do next? Right? Okay, so let me quit. And let me just see if I can suppress. So I'm happy with this. So I'm going to take this start and put it into my repo here for now, because I'm very happy with that so far. Now, let me look for talk_status. Do not print. Silently poll. Do not print. So, like, do I just remove talk status entirely? Is that like the solution to this? I don't think so. Talk status. How about this? Call talk status once and print the return JSON verbatim. If there's an error, actually, so call it once. If there's an error field, surface it clearly to the user. Otherwise, stay silent. Haha, I should just got into the status toml. And let's test it and then we'll put it into the code. YOLO. Alright, so we're going to go start. And here we go. If you want me to ask it anything, let's do some, let's see if that worked first. Hi Gemini, can you tell me anything about the creators of Gemini-CLI, or who is the driving force behind this project? No, it's still showing me the talk status.
Of course, the Gemini-CLI is a project from Google built upon the Gemini models. It's an open source initiative, so it benefits from the contributions of a community of developers.
Okay, what if I remove talk status? Let me just comment. Can't comment that out. Alright. Let me just drop talk status entirely as the tools it has. Since I'm not really using it. And let me undo what I had here. There we go. Alright, let's try it again. Hi Gemini, could you please give me a short poem about digital communications using microphones and audio output? Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so that's much, much better. That's what I want. I don't want people to see the heartbeat. I want that to be more of a tool To
Of
check the
course,
status
here's
in
a
case
short
you have to
poem for
call
you.
it.
The mic awakes with whispered sound, where silent
So let me
thoughts are
put that
newly
into the
found.
start,
Through
into the
wires humming,
repo,
bits take flight. A voice
and
reborn in
push
waves
that
of
up.
light. The speaker sings a clear reply, connecting worlds both far and nigh.
Logs. 30-second timeout. And I'm still in sleep mode, exactly what I want. I'll pause for 30 seconds before allowing the play bright. Awesome. Hey VJ, how are you? Thanks for joining. Hi Gemini, could you please help me understand the interfaces configured on device R3 using Pi ATS? Okay, so how long have I been coding this? Like not long, not very long at all. Gemini-CLI is pretty new, but yeah, a couple days, maybe 10 days. This is sort of the peak of where I've gotten to. But check this out. It's going to run the show Pi ATS command now through voice, and look at it. There's the IP interface. Then look at it. Now listen. Look at this.
I found several interfaces on device R3. Here are the ones that are currently up and have IP addresses assigned. WAN 20, 192.168.21, WAN 40, 192.168.41, Gigabit Ethernet 00, 10, 10, 20, 66, Loopback 1, 172.16.11, Loopback 2, 172.16.21, Loopback 13, 13.13.13, Loopback 100, 192.168, 100, 100. Several other interfaces are up but have no IP, and VLAN 100 is up but its protocol is down.
Thank you
Let
so
me know
much.
if you
Could
need
you
more
please
details.
remove interface loopback 100? Thank you.
The Loopback 100 interface has been removed from device R3. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yes, I was wondering. I'm in pause mode. Okay, isn't that cool though? What do you guys think and girls think? I just removed a loopback interface with my voice and got audio confirmation back. No hands, no typing, no commands, no Python, no REST APIs, no calls. Okay, check this out. Let's add a new loopback 100. Well, let's check and make sure that got removed. Hi, thank you so much. Could you now check the interfaces and confirm that loopback 100 was removed? Thank you. Yeah, whatever we want, Dev, whatever PyTS can do. So I'm running a show command right now, right? And there you can see there is no loopback 100 anymore.
I've reviewed the current interface list, and I can confirm that the Loopback 100 interface is no longer present.
Let's go in the reverse
removal
direction
was successful.
after this timeout period and add a new loopback interface. So like, yeah, I can't really do that without showing my password. We'll just add one. We'll add a loopback 100, and then we'll get the command and have it validate that it added the loopback. How's that? Let's do that. Thank you. That is awesome. Can we now add a loopback 100 with the description of configured by voice using Gemini and an IP address of 192.168.200.200/30 and enable the port? Oh, I didn't get enough of it in there. I didn't say that fast enough. Okay, it's going to add it with the /32. One thing to work on, I might need to increase that 30-second timeout. But you'll get the idea here now through voice. We'll get this loopback 100 configured. Now, it might not enable the port. We'll follow up and say now, could you... Here we go. Now watch.
The Loopback 100 interface has been successfully configured on device R3 with your specified description and IP address.
All right. As soon as we come out of the sleep, we'll move ahead and fix that. Not fix it, but enable it. We'll follow up. Thank you so much. Could you now enable that loopback 100 port and then follow up with a command to confirm that it's up and running with the right description? Thank you. So Dev, yeah, if I had a MySQL MCP, I could push that to SQL, no problem at all. Do you want me to add my GitHub and show you how to push it to GitHub with MCP and voice? I could do that. Let's let this finish and just bear with me a second to get the settings I need.
I have checked the status of the Loopback 100 interface. I can confirm that it is up, the line protocol is up, and the description is set to configured by voice using Gemini. Everything looks correct.
All right, so that actually ran two commands, right? It actually no-shut the port and then followed up, right? So first it enabled it with the configure device, and then it followed up with the show run, and we see the description here, right? And the IP address, and that it is up and running now. So I'm in the 30-second pause. Let me cancel this, and what I'm going to do, I will show you what I'm going to do, but I can't really show you what I'm going to do because there's a private API key involved. In my .Gemini settings, I have three MCPs: Packet Copilot, which you haven't seen, Talk, and PyETS. All right, now you've seen some PyETS, so maybe I'll show you some Packet Copilot. What I'm going to do now is add a GitHub one, and I'm just going to switch off there so that I can go get the settings I've emailed myself from my other machine where I have this set up. And as soon as I see that you can't see me, I will paste that in. And bear with me here. Here, let me close my settings and go back to my TOML file. And go back to my screen sharing. Okay, so now I will show you, if I launch Gemini YOLO, and I don't get any errors. I got an error. Hang on. Don't panic. Okay, I think I have it fixed. Whoops, haha. Gonna have to change that key. That's okay, I didn't mean to do that. I forgot I didn't have it closed. Well, alright. A senior dev, I don't know about a senior dev. I just love doing this kind of stuff. So I've closed my file. You can't see it anymore. Apologies for that. Now let me go back in here. Okay, now, are you ready to be blown away? Dev, do you use GitHub? So if I do /mcp now, look at all these tools I have from GitHub. Okay, and in my JSON settings file, I have a key that gives permission to GitHub to a certain repository of mine. Okay, so let's do something like this and combine all of these things together. This is going to be really cool. I don't know that I can do it all in one phrase in 30 seconds. So let's just try it. Please get the interfaces from device R3 using PyTS and make a markdown table. Thank you.
Of course. I will get the interface status from device R3 and format it as a markdown table for you.
Just cleaning this up a little bit more, getting rid of status there. It still showed status. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and it didn't run the PyTS. Let's try it again. Oh no, there it goes. Running PyTS command. So now I should get back some markdown. Yeah, the repos are at the very top of the comments in the live stream chat. So there's our table. Now watch this.
Here is the interface information for device R3.
Okay, so we have the table in markdown, right, from the device. All through voice, all through PyTS, all through the MCP. Now you just saw me add the GitHub MCP. Now check this out. We're going to go a step further here. Where did that go? I don't want this up. There we are. Okay. Thank you. Could you now put this into GitHub as interface markdown table.md in the main branch? Can you please put it in the packet conversation? Okay, hang on. I didn't tell it the repo to use. Okay, so just wait.
You have several repositories. Please tell me the name of the repository you'd like me to use. Here are some of your most recently updated ones. MCPyATS, Automate Your Network, Packet Buddy, Merlin, Document Buddy. Which repository should I use?
please use the repository packet_conversations.
Got it. I will use the Packet Conversations repository. I am now creating the interface markdown table.md file in the main branch.
It didn't actually do it yet. It didn't call the GitHub MCP. There it goes. Look at it. So it did do it.
I have successfully created the file interface markdown table.md in the Packet Conversations repository. You can find it at https:/github.com/packetconversations/blob main interface markdown table.
Right? Right? Isn't that cool? All through voice, all through audio, no typing so far. No Python, no REST API calls, no JavaScript, nothing. MCPs, Gemini-CLI, a couple / commands that I've already written. Here we go. Thank you so much. Could you augment that table with some summary data and an analysis above, not just the table? Thank you.
Of course, I will add a summary and analysis to the interface markdown table.md file.
There we go. Now it's updating it. Cool. So I can't just not just push files, but I can update these files. There's the analysis. Total, up, down.
I have
down,
updated the file with the summary and
IPs, without
analysis.
IPs.
You can view the updated file at https://github.com/automate-your-network/blob/main interface markdown table.md.
Well, that's some pretty wicked stuff. All right, let me cancel this. Now, I do want to write a help. I don't have a talk help that should explain all this stuff. And let me just quickly look over on my other machine and see if there's any other MCPs I could plug in. Yeah, there is one. Give me 1 second. Let me plug in another MCP server. So that's a no-go. Right, so we just snapped in GitHub through the JSON file. Let Let me quickly see. Maybe it is worth just finding real quick. Okay, so I'll show you how to, well, I can't because I've got keys in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this repository. Do I already have it cloned? Let me check that first. Let me shut WebEx. I don't want WebEx. Sorry about that. I already have the NIST. I don't think so. Okay, so I'm going to clone this repository. I already have it. I thought so. Okay, so I'm going to get the PWD. I'm going to go to the README and grab this MCP server code here. And I'm going to send myself my key and fix this. Now I can't show you this because I have a key in that file right now. So let me switch to main camera and try to do this as quickly as I can for everyone. So I have the GitHub. Now I'm going to add the NIST. And I'm going to rename it to NIST. And the path is... Let me just find the path real quick. And the path is to the AWX. Server.py. So MCP NVD, MCP MDV, MCP NVD, server.py, and let me send myself a key real quick. I'm sure that this will be worth it, everyone. Dilemma, thank you so much. I haven't created any Gemini. How can you start? Honestly, just how would you take it from scratch? Honestly, just get Gemini-CLI installed first. Watch some of my previous videos will really help. And honestly, like just don't wait on it any longer. Try to like use this as inspiration. I'm not doing this to show off. I'm doing it to show the art of the possible. And hopefully to inspire people to, especially network people, to embrace and adopt the new tools that are available to us. So just give me 1 second here. I'm almost there. And we'll do something very neat with the NIST MCP. So just hang tight. I'm just waiting for my email. Okay, hang on. Now, I hope it is just this seamless, and I hope I don't have any problems here. Let's get the screen back, and let's quit, and let's try it. Let's see, okay, hang on. Okay, that's a minor problem. What the heck? I thought it was... Oh, okay. It's a dash. Okay, hang on. Why the heck is it a dash? I hate dashes. Never use dashes, okay? Just don't. Don't use dashes in anything. Ever. Ever, never, ever. Alright, so let me go back to that. And I'm not sharing my screen anymore, no? Okay. Dash. And we're back. Okay. Okay, so let's go in here. NIST. Server.py. What am I missing? Path to UVX. To the UVX executable. I thought it was the Python server file. Is it a read? Yeah. Okay, hang on. Give me 1 second. Let's make a new virtual environment for this and just try it. Okay, so it's the path is to NIST. Gotta stop sharing again real quick. Excuse me. Sorry, but I don't mean to go quiet. I'm just trying to get this in NIST MCP server up and running. So that should be MCP underscore NVD. And it's server.py. Alright, let me try this again. Let me try it before I start sharing my screen again. One second. Oh, hang on. Hang on a second. Maybe I don't need it there. Maybe I have to export it there. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this going because it's a pretty neat little MCP, and couldn't start at line 6. Why? Just troubleshooting something. I should not be that much longer here. Python server .env could not parse statement. Let me move the .env. Okay, so now let me try it again. Well, I will struggle with that later. Unfortunately, I can't struggle with it too much on screen because it involves a settings.json file. I'm still here. Yeah, let me go back to it one more time and take another closer look. Weird, very weird. Maybe I should run. Hang on, 1 second. No, it's not going to work. I will have to come back to that. I'd love to figure that out right now. That's really a shame. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. Getting a 3200 message, which usually means missing something in my environment. Well, that's a shame. I will try to fix that later. Let me close this for now. Let me undo that, actually, and get that out of there. And let's do some packet stuff. All right. I see I got 8 people watching. Sorry about the long time with my face on the screen. Let's get back into this. All right. So that was a bust. See, I'm getting this connection closed. I'll figure that out later. So let's quit. And let's get out of this folder and move into a folder called Packet Analysis. Now, I have to export. Do I have to export my keys here? I don't think so. Let me just try Gemini YOLO. It may complain about my OpenAI key. Let me just try something. Let me try talk mode. Hi Gemini, could you give me a quick response back? Thank you. The status is still going. I don't know why.
Of course, here is a quick response.
Okay, awesome. All right, so now let's do some packet stuff. Now, I'm in this packet analysis folder. Where did that go? And I have these packets, okay? Some different PCAPs. Now, this is using a different MCP. If I break out of this and do /MCP, you're going to see that I have a packet copilot, which is a remote MCP from Selector AI. And we can do this. And what are the capture? I think it's just called capture.pcap. Hi, could you please help me understand the capture.pcap file at layers 2 through 4? Help me with a table. course, I will analyze the capture PCAP file provided with a summary of L2 through L4 in a table format. We have a new session with the Packet Copilot. The shell is going to turn it into base 64. We're going to upload this base 64. We're now going to turn it into JSON. It's going to try that again. Sometimes it picks the wrong session ID. It'll fix that. There we go. So it'll convert it to JSON, sanitize the JSON, meaning remove any unnecessary hex, index it, and you can see it's got one chunk for one packet in the RAG vector store. Here's a brief description, and now the full analysis using a conversational retrieval chain, if you want to be technical. Now there is the analysis. And here we go. There's the table we wanted. There's the analysis and findings, and the next recommendation and steps. Now we should get some of this as an audio.
Here is the summary of the capture.pcap file. I will now play the audio and then pause for 30 seconds to allow for playback before recording again.
So it only gave us this. This all must be special markdown, maybe that the audio can't read the special characters, and then it jumped to here. Something for me to develop against, something for me to be aware of, that it can't necessarily read special audio. So let's try it again. Let's try it again. Thank you so much. Could I get a pure text analysis of the PCAP from L2 to L4? Thank you. So it looks like, okay, that's unfortunate. I wish it would have referred to memory. I could have maybe said from your memory or from what you know of the PCAP. But anyway, it's going to just go through that process again, which is fine. It's only a couple more seconds. How's everybody doing? Anybody new? Anyone? Is this all new to anyone? Has anyone seen anything like this? Anyone doing AI? Anyone in networking that's interested in, maybe moving beyond automation? Let me know. I'd like to hear from you out there. I like the comments. So again, upload, convert, sanitize, index, brief description, full analysis. And this time, instead of the special markdown, I've specifically asked for text for an accessibility mode. So maybe the audio will play back all the text description of the PCAP. You see the CLI is still giving me, maybe because it has memory of the table, I wanted just a pure text.
Of course, here is a pure text analysis of the provided packet capture from layer 2 to layer 4.
It's going to go silent. Okay, something for me to work on. And maybe in my Gemini file I can tell it that. It's kind of a trade-off, right? I do like this visual format. I really do like this. But it does break the audio. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. So I've been going for a little while. I think I'm going to wrap up. It's time for dinner for me soon. Let me switch back to full screen mode here. I appreciate everyone joining. I had a lot of fun. And I hope you thought this was pretty neat. To get going, the GitHub repositories, 2 of them are one for slash commands, one for the MCP are in the comments. Scroll all the way to the top, as well as the link to install Gemini-CLI to get going. Follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn. Please like and subscribe to this if you enjoyed it. Please also share it. And also follow me and connect with me on LinkedIn if you're in the professional space and sphere.